Hey everybody, welcome to the Tuesday, May 7th SIG Release weekly meeting. My name is Jeremy and I'll be the host today. Before we get started, just a reminder that this meeting is covered by the Kubernetes Code of Conduct, which basically boils down to be excellent to one another. We are also recording this, so it will be available on YouTube for anyone that couldn't attend in person today. If anybody would like to volunteer to be our note taker today, we'd appreciate that a lot. It looks like Marco's doing some updates. I'll try to take some as well, but if anybody wants to jump in there, feel free. And with
Yeah, I
that,
can
we'll
help
jump.
with that.
Oh, okay, cool. That'd be awesome. Thank you. Okay, we'll jump into our first bullet under our reoccurring topics, which is to welcome any new members or attendees um, to this meeting. If this is your first time or you haven't been here in a while, feel free to introduce yourself, come off of mute, and let us know why you're here.
So, hello everyone. This is my first meeting of Kubernetes SIG Release. My name is Lavishpal and I'm currently pre-final year student of BTech IT and I'm from India and I have been learning Kubernetes from last couple of months and yeah, looking forward to contribute more.
Welcome. It's great to have you here. Okay. Next, we'll move on to sub-project updates, and the first up will be the release engineering sub-project. Marco, you're typing in there. Do you want to give that update or
Yeah, sure.
go for it?
So patch releases are scheduled for next Tuesday, which is May 14, and the cherry pick deadline is this Friday, May 10th. Uh, yeah, this is basically just as a reminder. If you have anything that you would like to include in these patch releases, please make sure that you create cherry picks and that they're approved, HTML and have test passing. We will also make sure to send a notification about this to the KDev mailing list. And as a general note, like we will get back to our cherry picks that satisfy the criteria. There is generally no need to ping us and stuff like that, but I mean, that's okay too. But just so that you don't have to worry about this, we will get back to everyone. And yeah, I left one action item. It's if anyone from release managers would like to volunteer for these patch releases, there's a thread from Sasha in release management channel. Please chime in and let us know. Jeremy volunteered, thank you. But if anyone would like to help Jeremy, please let us know.
So quick call out here that the Go releases just dropped. And Berko, maybe that's what you had your hand up for.
Yeah, that
Um,
was it.
so we might want to figure out how that plays into the patch release cycle as well. It's got there are two minor security fixes.
Yes, that's
Two
a very
two
good
security
point.
fixes. Two security fixes. They may not be minor deaths.
Yeah, the details
That's
just dropped about the security, the CVs that they found, and I think it's worth uh, working on those. Carlos opened the tracking issue about a week ago, but so far we haven't had any progress on it. I'll probably start taking some of them tonight.
Yes, what I just wanted to also add is that Dim said in the KTS code organization channel that one of the CV does not affect us, so this is good. But we should anyways try our best to upgrade and make sure that we are on the latest version to avoid any potential issues. Are there any questions for the patch releases part? Okay, I guess we can go to OBS packages now. Speaking of OBS packages, there's no updates practically. I am yet to try to figure out a little bit of road mapping and coming up with some proposals so that we can share the task with our community members. And I'm a little bit like busy with some public holidays, work trips, and stuff like that. But this month I plan to finish that and that we can create issues and try to find someone to work on those issues and to finish what we have of the remaining work. Are there any questions about this, or we can move on? Okay, so speaking of supply chain security, so we had oh wait, no, sorry, this is wrong sections. Do you have any updates here, Puerco, maybe?
No concrete updates on work we've been doing, but something to call out is that last week GitHub released support for storing attestations and actually signing and storing attestations in repositories. This this new capability in GitHub overlaps with some of the work that we've been doing. So I'm not saying that we need to drop everything, but I think some of our tools may be able to become better by using these new features. So for anybody who's interested, please take a look at the new feature. I can share some links later if you want them, and think about how the tools that we've been building over the years may be augmented, overlapped, superseded by this new thing, and then yeah, let's talk about that in a future session.
Thanks a lot for the update. Are there any questions for Adolfo? I will take that as a no. So taking on the next part, and this is artifact validation. So as you might know, we had a survey that was running since like before KubeCon until end of April, and now this survey is done. The survey results are processed and visualized. I attached presentation in the meeting minutes. Thanks a lot to Lori for actually doing all this work and making sure that we have a nice representation of the survey that we did. We had 36 responses, which is not a lot, but I guess it is good enough. And I hope that those are for people that like actively care about the supply chain security stuff, the artifact validation, stuff like that. So I believe that those answers are going to be useful. And I'm yet to take like in-depth look into this, but we will come up with the next steps soon. I will also see with folks that are interested into this, how exactly are we going to handle this, mainly with Sasha and with some other folks and Adolfo and Carlos and like everyone who worked on this before. There's also a topic for this meeting down there for the LFX project idea that we discussed. And yeah, there's also going to be that too, I hope. So yeah, stay tuned, and I hope that we will have some awesome news in the near future. Any questions before we hand it over to the release team?
So really quick, unrelated, well, related but unrelated. I just wanted to make a quick announcement since it was, I think we did not do in some of our previous meetings. Maybe we mentioned it in some sub-project meetings. But a quick round of congratulations to Marco, who's newly a sub-project lead for release engineering. You've done lots of work here. It's pretty awesome to see you evolve into this new role. Looking forward to seeing what you do next. And then also to Kat and Grace, who have stepped up to be sub-project leads for the release team sub-project. Again, they have done some phenomenal work in the respective sub-projects, and I think everyone who is on this is the first time that we've introduced sub-project leads to the special interest group. And I think that everyone who has stepped up to be a sub-project lead is espousing, have been espousing the values of our SIG and kind of pushing us to the next level in terms of the way we coordinate, the way we manage respective sub projects. So hats off to you. Sorry for not announcing it sooner on the public call, but we did also send an email out to KDev. So congrats again.
Extra claps.
Marco, don't cry.
Thank you all. Thank you. I really appreciate everything, and I'm really happy to be in this role. And huge congrats to Kat and Grace as well. And I hope we will be able to do some of the stuff together. Okay,
right.
I guess release team. Do we have anyone from the release team?
Hey everyone, I guess I can share the update. I'm leading the enhancements team, and I don't see Cancelos in the call, so I guess I'll go. So the release is scheduled to start on next Monday. So we have formed this group DM for all the leads, and Priyanka has informed us that she'll be giving us the shadow applications once she has them, which should be by the end of next week, like middle of next week. And yeah, we are also going through all the onboarding documentation. All the leads are going through their respective onboarding documentation. And yeah, looking forward to start the release next week.
Thanks. I dropped a link to the shadow survey since that's probably of interest to folks right now. It looks like the deadline for that is Wednesday, May 15th at 23:59 UTC. So you can find the link to that in the notes now. All right, we'll move on to open discussion items, and I see two on the agenda. Marco, do you want to take the first one away? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry.
There we go.
So yeah. So as a quick TLDR of what we discussed over the past few days is that we have folks interested to do the LFX project for the image promoter refactoring. That is a long time thing that we need to do, and we thought that this is a great opportunity to bring someone new to the SIG and to see if anyone is interested in this to work, especially that for image promoter we need like as much as help as we can get. It's quite a large effort, and thanks a lot to Meha for proposing the idea to submit it as a LFX project. So this is what we're going to do, and we have created a PR to propose it as an idea. I hope that we will get all the approvals that we need, because the deadline is tomorrow 5 p.m., something like that. But stay tuned, and I think that we have generally +1 from everyone in this SIG to get forward with this idea. What I wanted to quickly to discuss, given that we have everyone on board, is how exactly should we prepare for this, because yeah, this is quite large work, and I think we should spend some time trying to like prepare for it as best as we can, because we are going to get someone that's likely a student or something like that, who might not have experience to come up with proposal and everything that is related to refactoring the promoter tools. So we should have some preparation done, like to try to document what we already have, to like go in depth like how it works right now, to try to propose some solution and to create issues and to create stuff like that. So once we onboard the student, they can get started working on this, and they don't spend too much time trying to technically understand everything on their own, because it's important to set up the student for success, because this is the situation that we had, for example, when we did the OBS mentorship, is that it is especially important that students have all the information handy, that they can figure out how everything works, so they don't spend a lot of time doing that together on their own. So what I basically wanted to say is we need to figure out who is going to work with this and how are we going to do this, and to agree on some, at least try to agree on some deadlines, because let's say I think it is started maybe mid-June or something like that, so we don't have a lot of time. But the steps I would propose is that as a first step, we try to document what we exactly have. and like try to come up with some diagrams, try to come up with like, what are some important terms in the promoter, like what are promotion edges, what are registries that we use, like how it exactly works, like have some architecture diagram and documentation, and also try to come up with a proposal how the refactoring should be done, like what is the desired tool that we want to have at the end so that we can give it to the student later. And basically, those two steps are the most important, in my opinion. Maybe there is something else, so this is a good time to discuss, but this is what I wanted to talk about. Adolfo, go ahead.
Yeah, so one of the things that we need to consider is that we are most likely going to have to redesign how we sign and distribute those signatures. And then that probably means ripping out some of the signing code outside of the promoter, and maybe, I mean, it's one of the possibilities, right? Just decoupling the signing process from the promotion process. I would also like to have Sasha in those discussions, just to think how we do it. The promoter itself, I mean, has been sort of rock solid so far. The problem that it has is that it's very complex. And if you need to add improvements or anything, I mean, you've seen people just trying to do drive-by PRs and trying to add features that they think are important, and then miserably failing because they just abandon the PRs because of how complex it is. So thinking about how our most pressing need is just to make the signatures even and provide a consistent signing process to the community. So maybe the way that looks is just decoupling the signing process, redesigning it for the new infrastructure requirements, and then doing that. That said, one of the things that we need to do before we have the student on board is decide on what we want to do, and the mentee, the expectations for the mentee is going to be implementing part of that, because we cannot expect someone during a summer with, I don't know, not a lot of experience working on a project of this size. So once we decide it, we can identify which parts to hand over to them.
Jeremy, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I was gonna plus one to what Adolfo said. I think another thing that's pretty important for us to consider here is to provide as much context as we can around the problems so that it's clear to the person that's coming in. I mean, we linked some issues in the proposal, but I think having extra context available, some more backstory on some of the things we've seen and some of the pain points would be a really useful exercise up front to make sure that the student that's going to work on this is super clear on what the value and what the impact will be on working through this. I definitely think that splitting the signing from the promotion, decoupling them is probably a really good way to go. And we should probably think about what that looks like first.
Yeah, just plus oneing the decoupling. I think, across the years in SIG release, we seek to decouple as many things as possible and kind of build things up into composable uh, constructs that make sense. So, I mean, I think, the image promoter has been one of the most complex pieces of tooling that we've had to reason about. And it is a carryover from previous work in other areas. So I think we obviously need to be careful as we break down some of these things, but decoupling is absolutely here, I think.
I think if there's any way we can simplify how that process works, that would be beneficial for the long term as well. It's a complicated thing that it has to do, but if we can reason about it, maybe from some fresh eyes and not bring in any pre-assumptions or what it does today as like a driving factor, that would be a good way to start too.
Yeah, I am also plus one what everyone said so far. Very good points. So basically, yeah, we should try to document all that and like have folks, especially like Sasha, and Carlos also like plus one the idea and the proposal so that we like have everyone on board before we like propose that to student. I guess we could try to split it so that one of us try to document what we already have and someone tries to write a proposal and like what should be ideal. Uh, I don't know, Adolfo, do you maybe have time to try forward the proposal, or how should we do that part?
Yeah, I mean, I can start tapping some of it for sure. I
Yeah.
think something that we need to consider is redistributing some of these artifacts, the signatures, the possibly attestations and others are just as it's the mechanism to distribute those is the same as distributing the images when we promote them. So I think one of the early decisions that we need to settle is, do we want to just do the signing in whatever new decouple process that we have, and then reusing the promoter to distribute those, which could make sense because we have one tool to do that, or not. But those are questions that we can discuss in the document, probably, and have some of those questions ready for broader discussion next meeting.
Sounds good. Can we commit to something like finishing the proposal by end of this month so that we are on the safe side and have some time for discussion and stuff like that? Because the internship is starting June 17 or no, yeah, 17 or something like that. So that we have like everything prepared by then.
Okay, yeah, I think it's possible. At least I guess many of us have been noodling about the problem and more or less have reached similar conclusions. So I think we can converge on a single idea pretty quickly.
Yeah, to just flip this in the context of the new role, Marco, we trust you to set the deadline and to work us towards executing on it. I think we have
Sounds
the
good.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, and what I can also help with, and I can see with Mecha and folks who will be working on this, is that we document the, as Jeremy said, the context, like what is the situation, what limitations we have and stuff like that. And that we also try to document what we have right now, so that we have like both proposals and that, so that we can more easily onboard the student that we will be mentoring. And ideally, we will also try to finish that by end of the month. So, yeah.
Yeah, right now the proposal for LFX that we are PRing on that I linked in the chat is broad enough so that we can, so it gives us some time to discuss and then not go into the specifics. And then, but we definitely need to have those ready so that on day one the mentee can be successful.
Yeah. Then I think we have some plan. Let's see. Let's try to, we can discuss it more in depth next meeting. And yeah, I think this is fine. Are there any questions or anything else to discuss maybe? Okay, then if there are any questions, please feel free to reach out to us in Release Management Slack channel, and we are happy to discuss anything. And with that, handing over to the next topic.
Yeah, hey everyone. So I wanted to talk about this issue of versioning the kept template. So this had come up in the 130 release after the enhancements freeze. And this is something that we had talked about during the mid-cycle release retro call. And like I had started some work on this, and like all the discussion around this work was taking place in the either the release retro calls or the enhancement subproject call. So last week, Neha and Mark, they were planning to create an LFX project based off this idea, but it was like I had not communicated properly that I had already started working on that. So there was some confusion. Sorry about that. So I talked to Kath also, and Kath mentioned that I can talk about it in the SIG release meeting so that I can keep everybody in the loop. Yeah, I just wanted to.
Yeah, I'll also say I think I created an issue for this work a while ago. I think it started way before the 130 release. I forgot which repository it's in. Let me try and find it.
I think it is you're talking about the issue in K enhancements, right? I linked that in the meeting notes. I'll just post it here.
Yeah. I think I opened in SIG release and it got moved to K enhancements, but yeah, I think when we talked with Kat again, I think we decided that since there was work already started, the LFX mentorship should focus on the with like the image signing type work. That's where we left off, right, Neha?
Yes.
Just for a +1 here, I have maybe I didn't file an issue for this, but as one of the creators of the KEP process, like we've wanted versioning for these templates for a while. I would not necessarily say that. I mean, it's an interesting venue to discuss it in that sort of under enhancement subproject. So I think at least in what we should be focusing on in terms of LFX, it's definitely I think the work related to the image promoter, but just +1ing versioning KEP templates. We will continue to be confused as the boundaries shift for requirements if we don't have a version to bind KEPs against.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have anything else. So if I have more updates, I guess I can talk about that in the future calls here. Yep. Yeah, that's all for me.
All right, I think that's the end of our agenda. Does anybody have any last minute topics they'd like to add or any quick things they'd like to go over or questions to ask? All right. Well, not hearing any, so we will adjourn the meeting at 11:31. Hope everybody has a great rest of your Tuesday and see you on the internet.
And
Okay.
Bye.
Bye bye.